Today, we will look at the center point of all history, the moment when Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross and died to pay our penalty of sin and death and separation from God. We read in Mark 15 the moment when Jesus died. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. Then at 3 o'clock, Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you abandoned me?" Some of the bystanders misunderstood and thought he was calling for the prophet Elijah. One of them ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, holding it up to him on a reed stick so he could drink. "Wait," he said. "Let's see whether Elijah comes to take him down." Then Jesus uttered another loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. When the Roman officers who stood facing him saw how he had died, he exclaimed, "This man truly was the Son of God." There are a few things especially to note about this passage, about these last few minutes of Jesus' life. First, notice the cry of Jesus that is maintained in the original Aramaic language. "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani." This phrase is actually the very first line of Psalm 22, a psalm written many hundreds of years prior. The religious Jews who were at the forefront of crucifying Jesus would have certainly had this psalm memorized and could recount the rest of the passage. Perhaps as they did, they realized they were in fact fulfilling this prophetic word from the psalmist. Next, take note of the temple curtain being torn in two from top to bottom. This temple curtain was a separation from the Holy of Holies, the place where God's presence resided, and the rest of the temple. It was impossible to enter that place except for the one high priest once a year to make sacrifice for the people. Yet, in that moment, as the curtain was torn from top to bottom, we get that God's presence is now available to everyone who calls upon him. Lastly, notice this Roman soldier. He had most likely seen hundreds of people crucified in this exact same way, and yet he recognized at this moment that truly this was the Son of God. Jesus paid the ultimate price on the cross with his life. This was not just some symbol of revolution, but instead as a sacrifice so that you and I wouldn't have to be separated from God forever. We have access to God the Father through Jesus, the Son of God.